Welcome to the MVP show. Today we're chatting with Antti. I'm not even going to attempt his last name. It's very Finnish. Anyhow, he's the man behind the Day-to-Day Dynamics 365, the same name he uses for his blog and YouTube channel. He's only one of 3 business apps MVPs based in Finland. Full show notes can be found at nz365guy.com/98. Now let's get on with the show. Well, welcome to the MVP show. I'm here with Antti. How are you, Antti?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, Gus. Oh, sorry, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Oh my gosh. Mate, have you been on Gus's show?
I have. I've been on Gus's show a couple of times.
Couple of live sessions, I take it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good, very good. So, well, you're on the MVP show today, so we're going to talk about what it's like being an MVP.
Yep.
Before we go there, though, you've just had some exciting stuff happen up in your part of the world. So where do you actually come from?
I come from Finland, so a native Finn. For those of you that suck at geography as much as I do, Finland is between Sweden and Russia. So we're kind of like in between two worlds, so to say.
Okay, so you're really, yeah, you are, right? So you're part of the continent, though, that makes up Russia, right? You're attached to it.
Yes, we are. Yeah. It is a border neighbor.
But are you attached to Sweden?
Yeah, no, right now, yes, I am in Sweden right now doing a project around pretty much the whole, I hate the word full stack, but pretty much the whole Dynamics stack, whatever there is, it's like everything.
Yeah, but is Sweden attached to Finland physically?
I don't think it is.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to go with no. Like I said, I suck at geography, so.
I was just going to jump online and actually take a look. Perhaps someone can clear that up for us. But, okay, yeah, I don't think it is. But I've never been to Finland. You know, I've been to every Nordic country apart from Finland.
Yeah, we have to make that happen.
Yeah, well, when are you running your big event? You know, like a big Saturday type event.
Oh, Saturday events. You know, we had that's in the distant future to come.
I heard it's less than 12 months out.
In the fullness of time. So we had a good event last Friday.
Yeah,
though.
Tell us about that.
So we had some connected field service awesomeness. It was actually called an intelligent service boot camp for field service and power platform professionals. Kudos to the other Finnish Dynamics MVP, Jukka Niiranen, for coming up with that term. We didn't want to call it connected field service because everybody calls it that, and it was just kind of we want to do something different. So, the good stuff around IoT, connected field service. We had the man, the myth, the legend, not Tanki Tazari, but Ben Walmer here in Finland. You know, hosting that with MVPs Kyle Hill and Mark Christie, also doing presentations and hosting the show for us. So
okay, so I'm just about to school you on geography. You ready?
Yep.
Finland is not only connected to Russia, it's also connected to Norway and Sweden.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, both.
I knew Norway, but I'm a bad Finn.
Mate,
for not knowing
the border
this.
between Finland and Sweden is larger than, by the looks, between Finland and Norway. But of course, by far the largest is between Finland and Russia.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. There you go. I will know the answer for the next pub quiz.
That's yeah. Do that.
Okay, so
not even the Finn knows. Well, You learn something new every day.
There you go. You don't even know who's on your border. Have you been over to Russia?
I've not.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. Nope.
Wow.
No, I'm not.
Man, I've been to the city just next door to yours, St. Petersburg.
Traveling east for this weekend for Saturday, Kiev, but that is not the same. Just to clarify, that's not the same as Russia. If I know Andriy Botenko is going to listen to this, so if I
man.
give anything towards that it would be something similar, he would break my balls for it.
Offenses are created all over the place with what you just said there. So Yeah, it's full on. Now, of course, I mean, this is going to broadcast well after that event, and I was meant to be speaking at the event, and I am not because I couldn't get a bloody visa to get into the country in time.
How's that?
How sad is that,
Ch-
man?
yes.
Their weird website didn't accept the payment, and then the next time we tried to apply another payment, it was said, "Sorry, less than 10 days before you enter the country, denied." So yeah, how unfortunate.
Well, we're doing beer tap maintenance for your company there,
I know,
so
I know. I was going to be
so
part of your whole mashup there. So
yeah. So Chris Huntingford's just gonna accept any orders that I might be providing you, and then we'll just send the invoice to you
okay, yeah,
afterward.
fair enough, fair enough. I'll send you my credit card.
Yes, sounds good.
Anyhow, let's just talk about a bit about just for a second your family. Tell us a bit about your family. What don't I know about your family?
So yeah, it's I'm well married with children. I have two lovely kids. A son who's 7 years old, just started school last summer, and a 5-year-old daughter. So and my lovely wife Emmy. So their kids are keeping me busy, and uh, and that's pretty much the family life that's happening.
How many months of the year are you surrounded by snow?
Wow, that's a good question. So we have pretty. I think we may have pretty easy winters. I'm from the south of Helsinki, from the south of Finland, from Helsinki. So we can get we can get I don't know, maybe 3 4 months of snow, or just like next to nothing. Depends on the winter. So I want to say like potentially from November to February, sometimes even in March. So 4 5.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And like I've met you in Sweden, so we know about some of the Swedish delicacies when it comes to food. Tell us a bit about some Finnish delicacies.
I think Finnish delicacies are we this thing in during Easter called mämmi. Now, if you ask me what's in it, what are the ingredients, I can't describe it. It's black and pudding, kind of like pudding, but not pudding. Hard to describe. It's sweet if you put a lot of sugar in it. And we have, black licorice naturally.
It's not that crazy stuff that's salty as ever and almost uneatable.
We have that as well. Yes.
Interesting, interesting. Tell me, what's your favorite part of the Power Platform?
My favorite part of the Power Platform is it is the platform itself. I think it's really hard to, come up with a single piece, but well, you know what I'm going to answer. So I'm a big PSA fan, so that's naturally my heart's beating to
Isn't
that. But
PSA dead?
isn't Dynamics dead?
What's happening with PSA these days?
So PSA is, it's merging with Project Online. So we're getting a really, really exciting new project management solution from Microsoft as a whole. So we're Project Online coming to CDS, and that merging with PSA, and PSA's capabilities kind of becoming the core part of Dynamics 365 for sales and customer service and whatnot. So we're seeing a merger of that, and a growth and a birth of a brand new project management experience that Microsoft's really heavily investing in. So
Wow. And so is there going to be any linkage between that and Azure DevOps?
I'm not sure what I can answer about that.
Oh, is it an NDA thing, is it?
There is. I better not probably answer nothing.
Honestly, you don't have to answer anything. It just, it came to my mind that, the most recent project in the last couple of months that I was on was all run in DevOps in a kind of an agile fashion. And when you're talking about project management and it's cloud, I'm thinking, isn't it a natural thing to stitch those two bad boys together?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that's something I've been considering and kind of thinking myself as well. Because what I'm doing now really, we really use Azure DevOps daily, and so that's these days a daily tool for me. So that has been and is on my mind, but that's one of those, small, really granular details where I'm like thinking, oh, have they, what's up with this and what's up with, Jira and what's up with all these other tools and what was public and what was not. So I got to be quiet about this one.
I get you, I get you. So tell me about your journey to becoming an MVP. What was involved? How did it happen? And why?
So I think my journey to becoming an MVP kicked off with just a pure passion for what I do and when I started with PSA about um, almost 3 years ago, summer of 2016, or was it fall of 2016, as a sales guy, and then kind of switching over to consulting, kind of picked it up again. I've realized that there's no material out there. There's nothing to learn from, and it's kind of it's complicated, it's a bit difficult to master, and no one's there to kind of guide me, right? So the only thing to do is just to start learning it yourself, and clicking through the things, trying out different things, and then I kind of started thinking that if I learn something and I have to come back to it in 6 months, I don't want to do that same that I don't want to go through that same learning curve again. I'd rather just read and reference a blog that I've written. So I started blogging, and that kind of led to more blogs and vlogs. And as I realized that I was getting better and better at PSA and with the platform, the pace kind of increased, and got to know people from different parts of the world. Got to know some people from the product team, and it just all kind of played out and happened.
Wow, okay. And so, but do you know who nominated you into the program?
I believe it was Jonas Rapp.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah, I think it was him.
Wow, but you haven't, you don't know 100%?
It was him. If there were other nominees, I'm not sure about those, but it was his initiation, so to say. So thank you if you are listening.
Are you the only MVP in Finland?
We have Jukka Nirinen, who's an old, really old school CRM guy with a lot of knowledge.
He's a smart chap.
He is. He's excellent. And then we have BizApp's MVP, Timo Pertilä, as well. And Timo's a huge wizard. Timo's new, yeah. He's some maybe 3-4 months into the program, and he's a wizard with Canvas apps and all that stuff. So
Awesome. Okay, so tell me, was it worth it, or was it a waste of time becoming an MVP?
it was definitely worth it. It was definitely worth it, and it still is. I haven't lost the passion, and I love what I do, and I love to help out the community, and try to produce content that people that's helpful to people. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Did it in any way enhance your career?
it did, in the sense that once when you get visibility, you get you get approached by different sorts of companies and whatnots, and that's part of the reason that I'm spending 3 to 4 days in Finland until the end of June, is that the visibility that it brings, and people sort of find you easier, and you get more business opportunities through that as well. So
Yeah, yeah. So do you think it's benefited your employer? So is it a discussion I had recently with a global GSI, and the discussion was around, is there value in having MVPs on your team? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it is of value, uh, from talking to lots of MVP colleagues. how employers, leverage that. Well, supposedly, according, to the award program, the employer really can't leverage that, but directly, but indirectly, uh, you know, in some situations, I think MVPs are not appreciated as much as they perhaps perhaps should be, and not given uh, the freedom to kind of steer and guide the business in ways that would be helpful for the company.
Okay. Interesting. But, are all MVPs created equal in the value that they bring to their employer? So I'm meaning in that specific scenario. Do you think that there's potentially some MVPs that don't add the value to their employer? Because I think there's, my personal opinion is that they can bring a lot of value to the employer. But what are your thoughts?
Some that don't bring any value.
Well, yeah, don't bring any, don't bring enough, don't kind of add value, if you like, within the organizations that they're working for.
I suppose that's possible, but that's something that I haven't encountered myself. Having talked to the other MVPs, regardless of their award category. Personally, that's not something that I've seen or discussed. I really want to say no, and be naive and say no, because I think that would just be kind of sad, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, my experience is that is the case. That there's an element of just not knowing how to communicate and add value, or even have a kind of a mindset of how can I drive value to my employer by winning this award and having this because I've seen so many MVPs that the minute then they receive their MVP, as you've mentioned, the job offers just roll in, and sometimes I'm like, are you really offering that value to your employer, outside of them just being able to say, hey, we've got an MVP on our team, but I see, even on LinkedIn this last week or so, I saw somebody say, hey, we've got 4 MVPs in our company. And of course, Hitachi always claim that they've got 500,000 MVPs working for them. So there's obviously some kind of marketing value, at least for the employer in that respect.
Yes. So I think the question is, I think it could be a two-edged sword. Is the MVP bringing value to the employer, and is the employer able to, do they know how to leverage that and how to, bring that forward, and
That's brilliant. Yeah,
so
that's
I mean,
brilliant.
I think it's like, both parties probably usually could be more open and discuss the possibilities, and there's not like there's not a there's not a network out there or anything out there. There's no blog posts or anything around how do you leverage an MVP, or for MVPs, how do you enable your employer to get more out of you being an MVP. There's no books to read about that, so you just kind of have to learn your way through that, or ask your colleagues, the other MVPs.
I'm writing it down right now as a blog topic.
That's awesome.
How to leverage an MVP on your team as an employer.
So I got to say, because I know you're not cutting this out, I went to I don't know. Sometimes just when your brain just doesn't work and it doesn't work. So I'm gonna go Google, and I'm looking at Sweden and Finland. I'm like, what did I just say? Did I just say that Sweden doesn't have a border with Finland? I'm like, oh man, dude.
It doesn't matter, man.
I'm blushing, man. I'm so ashamed.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all worth a laugh, right?
I hope no one listens to this episode.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll tell you a story. When I was in high school, as in we'd have American exchange students come over, on some type of exchange program, and I remember, that they literally thought that when the tide went out in New Zealand, that you could walk across to Australia. It's a 3-hour plane flight, right? When the tide's out, you can walk across to Australia. Like, nah. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. And I tell you, the amount of times I've sat in Joey's, right, in Seattle and or in Bellevue specifically, and talked to wait staff, and they're like, "Where are you from?" And say New Zealand, and of course just a blank stare, and they're like, "Is that somewhere by England?" Yeah, nope, nope, no, it's definitely not. So yeah, geography is an interesting thing, right?
It
There's a
is,
lot.
but
We're in a big world.
if you ask them where's Mordor, it's
Yeah,
like, oh, all right, so it's there.
yeah, middle of the North Island, otherwise known as Mount Tongariro.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That is Mordor from the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Anyhow, a couple other things, Antti, I'm interested in. Um, are you more of a technologist or a person that is more on the business side in what you do as an MVP? What's your approach? Is it technology approach or a business value?
I want to say business value, but I probably fall in a split of 50-50. So I try to be, I aspire to be something and someone who drives more business value or than technology value. Uh, but I want to say I don't fall too much, more on the technology side. So it's kind of, I'd say it's an even split. One of those, how to grow and develop personally and personal development issues, I guess. So
What's your advice to people wanting to become MVPs? If you could give the one bit of, as in, so, no, as in, I'll refine that a bit. What actions does one need to take to to kind of get to the point that they could be nominated? Just, and this is your experience. You don't have to go, I know you need to do A, B, and C. What are your kind of observations?
pure passion and be genuine. Be the person you are and have pure passion. And you can't fake either. So if one of those clicks, then it doesn't work out.
Yeah, interesting, interesting, interesting. So, how many years have you been an MVP now?
Not even a year, actually. I think it was I was born in
No,
November. Yeah.
no. I feel like you're, man, at least 2 to 3 years.
No, no,
Honestly, I feel
yeah,
like
no,
I've known you for
no,
ages.
November, up for renewal March next year, or is it June next year?
Yeah, whatever it is, it's across this quarter anyhow. It's across, what is it? Q2, Q3, Q2, Q2. Yeah. Okay. Wow. 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 And tell me, you've had this massive focus, obviously, in PSA. That's your thing. And one of the things I often say to people is that you and the other MVP that kind of really resonates with me that has done this well is Ulrich von Liechtenstein, right? Is that he went deep and became known as the chart guy, and you've gone deep and become known as the PSA guy, like, and you've owned, if you like, a category within the Microsoft business application space. How important do you think it is to really go deep and be strong in one core thing, even though you're kind of, it's what's referred to as a T consultant. You know about all the other bits, you have knowledge on them, but you have this really kind of core pillar of strength. How important do you think that is in really um, as a consultant, and even developing your career?
So I think part of the reason I probably became an MVP is the niche that I have, and uh, generally the lack of people that are engaged and do PSA. Uh, it is it's important to specialize in something because these days one can't know everything. Then again, ironically, the importance of knowing the overall platform and platform power platform architecture is becoming more and more important. So instead of us being like I'm a functional consultant, so instead of us being functional consultants in the future, are we some sort of hybrids of consultants and platform architects? Just talking out loud here. So I think a niche is important, and companies they need people with knowledge in specific niches. but it's not. It's not. I wouldn't say it's necessary. It has its advantages and has its disadvantages. When you're focused on something, then you kind of block some other things out. Don't maybe focus on other things as much as you should, and maybe feel a bit left out from the overall big picture at times. But then again, when you have those situations where that specialty skill is needed, then it's time to shine again, baby. So
Yeah. Nice, man. That's really cool. I like that. Anyhow, we've already chewed up our time, and so we're on our end questions, our wrap-up questions. And so what is the one question that you wish people would ask you and they just don't?
really,
Is that a hard one?
really hard one. Wow. The one question is this about is this technology or personal, or what would this question be?
Anything,
Oh wow, this is the hardest question for a while now. What are you going to learn next? I'm going to go with that. What are you going to learn next? Because that's on my mind consistently.
Nice. What are you going to learn next?
I've been saying Canvas apps for the past year.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, as in, because ultimately Canvas and model driven will just be one thing. So yeah, okay, that's good though. Go for it. If and I think this is an appropriate question for you, and I think you're going to come up with a very succinct answer.
Okay.
But who do you think of when you think of the word punchable?
Electronic Arts.
Why?
Because
they're subscription process?
Microtransactions. I can't stand them. I'm sorry, EA, but that drives me nuts.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I've heard a lot of feedback to the same, right? As in, yeah, fair call. I like it, and I like that it was a good answer, and it was an answer that didn't mention any political figure. So well played. By the way, not dissing any other people that have said a political figure, but that was a good creative answer. Okay, so we're done. That's 28 minutes, 29 seconds. Our time is up. Thank you, mate, for coming on the show. It's been entertaining for me, and I'm sure people are going to help you with the geography lesson in the coming months. but how can people connect with you online if they want to find out all the goodness that comes from Antti?
Yes. So my Twitter handle is my first name and my last name together. So ANTTIPAJUNEN. That's my Twitter handle, and then I have a blog at daytodaydynamics365.com.
Hey, thanks for listening. If you want to gain tips from MVPs and be inspired by their stories, follow the MVP Show podcast and watch MVP Mondays on the YouTube channel. I'm currently producing my MVP training series where I give tips on how to become a Microsoft MVP. For full show notes, go to nz365guide.com/98, and I'll talk to you next week.